Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Maych TV. The Premier League season looms because, as ever, I think of the third season on the bounce. I'm all about innovating with content, so here is the incredibly innovative season predictions video for football. Let's dive into it. I'll be honest, I wasn't really feeling optimistic about the football. I was a bit jaded, a bit run down, and largely that comes from the fact that my season finished 3 weeks later than it normally does, three and a bit when you consider all the aftermath from the Champions League final, and then because of the Community Shield, it started a week, and if you consider the build-up to it, a week and a half before it would normally. So yeah, I don't feel like I've had a summer's break in any way, shape or form. And then I watched Liverpool lose the Community Shield and somehow came out really, really excited and optimistic for the season ahead. Will that be factored into my predictions? You'll have to wait and see. But before I dive into it, I noticed, and I've done a reaction to a few of the videos on the 888 Sport channel. The lads have gone on there and they've done their season predictions, and for once, I'm not in total disagreement.
Do you genuinely think you're going to win the league next year?
I know we're going to win the league.
I'm not trying to be like a City fan and arrogant with this, but I honestly don't think you'll get 97 points or whatever it was again.
You've got to look at them and you've got to go, they're going to get,
What?
100 points? So if they're getting 100, what are you getting? How can you think? How can you think?
I don't get what it is with you guys that make you think that City are going to get 100 points again.
I
can't deny that.
Past two
But
seasons.
I am actually in disagreement. Look, I'm going to get the Premier League winners out of the way because I have to. I sat here last year and I said I was certain that Liverpool were going to win the league. I thought it was absolutely nailed on. I had that feeling, and I've had that feeling in 2 seasons previously, and in all of those seasons, Liverpool have finished second. So and this is, I'm not being belligerent. I'm not trying to somehow anti-jinx it or whatever, but I don't have that same level of feeling. Maybe it's because I've not thought about it overly, but I don't think Liverpool will win the league this season. I don't think that means Liverpool will have a bad season. I think they will have a very, very good season. But I think Manchester City are going to win it. And because, let's be honest, they should win it. Manchester City should win the Premier League every single season, hands down. There's a slight chance that the likes of Fernandinho, Sergio Aguero, David Silva start to melt a bit, to use the footballing parlance, that they will be a little bit past their best. Fernandinho, there's talk of him playing centre-half. Will he be the next Javier Mascherano in the Barcelona days under Pep? Potentially, he's a phenomenal footballer. But is he going to be quite at the peak of his powers? And how many games are they going to use him for? He started to become more and more injury ridden as the season progressed last year, but he was pivotal. Rodri looks a good signing, but is he going to be able to be at that level for all the season, as we've seen with Liverpool? It takes time to bed in and understand complex systems, particularly in midfield. Unless Pep's midfield is a lot more, simply constructed, then I think we give, or maybe we're giving him too much credit. But I know certainly Liverpool's midfield, it requires a lot of training and a lot of tactical work to get up to speed with what you're supposed to do. So there's a chance Rodri might not. And if he's not fully at the peak of his powers yet, which it's going to take him a year really to properly settle, and Fernandinho is then maybe physically struggling, that could be an issue. It's more hope than expectation. So I would expect, and the young players they've got still there, and the players who haven't quite had the breakout seasons. Gundogan's still a very good player. Gabriel Jesus still a very good player. And Bernardo Silva could well be the Premier League player of the season, let's be perfectly honest. So City will largely be fine unless circumstances conspire against them. So they will win the title. And again, when you've got that bigger squad, that much depth, that quality of player, that quality of manager, and all the other things that Man City have got going for them without having to get into the FFP thing, Man City should, over 38 league games, should absolutely win the league. Will they win the Champions League this season? No. I think Liverpool are more likely to win the Champions League this season than they are to win the Premier League. But will they? I think it's going to be, to win the Champions League this season, it will be Liverpool or Barcelona. And a lot of that will depend. I think one last hurrah, one final hurrah, Griezmann just giving them a little bit of a shot in the arm, a little bit of a revamp and a spruce up, and he's obviously got the experience at that level of the competition as well. So I think it will be close between those two. Domestically, I think, and this is a Liverpool bias, I can't help it, it's the best Liverpool side I've ever watched. And I'm 36 years old, I've watched a lot of football, and more specifically, I've watched a lot of Liverpool. It's a shame that they didn't win the Community Shield, and I could throw my prediction straight out the window straight away by going it because it's only a few days away, really. I think Liverpool will win the Super Cup. I think Liverpool will win the Club World Cup, and I think they will win one of the League Cup, FA Cup, or the Champions League this season. I think they will win three pieces of silverware this season. I think, and if they get fourth, then it's going to have been one of the all-time famous great seasons, unless you're Man City, which apparently fourth domestic trophies just isn't celebrated by everyone because nobody really likes them. Nobody really hates them. Top four then will therefore be in order: Manchester City, Liverpool Football Club, Tottenham Hotspur, who I think will be a real force again this season. But whether the unrest behind the scenes with the players, are they able to maintain motivation? Is the manager able to maintain motivation? Will he continue to gob off and try and solidify his position or whatever? I'm not sure. That could cause some problems, but Spurs should. They are established. They've got an established squad. They've added to it as well, which is something that they never really did last year. They've got the experience of having gone to the Champions League final and still qualified for the Champions League via the top four. So I see no reason why they won't finish third and won't be the team most likely to push Liverpool and Manchester City. So I think that's nailed on. I think fourth should be Arsenal. It should. There's no reason why it shouldn't be Arsenal. And you can go, yeah, they've not improved the defence, but I look at Manchester United, look at Chelsea as well, who are the other main contenders for that one. I think there's one Champions League space up for grabs, and I think those are three teams who are going to be fighting for it. And every one of them has got issues. But Arsenal, again, the manager's been there now for his second season, so he's more set. The players are more integrated in what type of football and his instructions and what have you. So that will definitely play into their hands. I think that is better. It's better to have that, and they've got the goals at the top end of the pitch sorted. I think on the balance, there's imbalances in all three of those sides. Arsenal, because of the managerial stability, I think will just about squeak into that fourth place. I think the problems with Chelsea have got is that Lampard's inexperience will come back to bite them. I think the crest of a wave of optimism that's going to carry them will carry them so far. And then look, they might. If I was Frank Lampard, I'd be going all in on the League Cup this season. Just do that. Just get a piece of silver. Get into the winning habit of things. That will be that. So that for me, I think I would put them in the brackets of teams most likely to win the League Cup if Liverpool don't go deep in that. And the Club World Cup might influence Liverpool's decision to do that. To put that to one side for the moment. The two things they will accept. And Chelsea's owners and board, etc., will accept this is not going to be a very successful season because they haven't been able to add players. They're having to bring in a load of youth players who, have been at the club for a while, but are they properly integrated? Have they been properly tested at Chelsea? That's going to be a bedding-in period. They've still got loads of really good, experienced players in there who know how to win. Can you maintain their motivation, etc., etc.? So they'll have to. I think that two things will happen. They'll either accept it and they will talk themselves into finishing fifth or sixth. The alternative is Chelsea do what Chelsea do. Everyone loses their heads really quickly, has zero patience for the project, zero patience for the build, bins all context of what the manager's trying to do, and he gets the sack well before the end of the season. And they bring in another well-established manager who's got decent credentials, and maybe he then guides them to the FA Cup or something like that. That's just the Chelsea story. This is a big chance for them to break the cycle of Chelsea-ness, which has worked phenomenally in the Abramovich era. So I understand why this cycle exists, but it's a very similar cycle, and they won't recognise this at Chelsea and Arsenal fans, but they've been on this similar cycle for so many years where they're bought into a way of doing things, and Arsenal's was just keep doing Arsene Wenger, not go over an investment and keep getting top four. The net results ended up better for Chelsea, and therefore it's more cast iron in your belief in it. As Chelsea fans, I'm certain of it, because when you continue to win silverware. But I think football's moved on. I think football's changed, and this is the season where Chelsea have to adapt, have to evolve, or die. And I'm not even saying that Frank Lampard might not even be good enough to be the Chelsea manager. So that could mean a situation where they are forced to buy into this notion of keeping Lampard, but they're buying into a manager who's not good enough. Speaking of which, Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not good enough to be manager of that football club, the institution of the size that it is. So he will have major troubles. They will have moments in the season, I think, where they will be sensational. Harry Maguire is a very, very good buy. And Wan-Bissaka is a brilliant, brilliant right back. So they've improved those areas of the team. But I just think until they sort their squad and their first 11, the players they've got, still the names that they've got present should be more than enough. If you can get a tune out of Alexis Sanchez, my God, he's gone from being probably one of the best 5 players in world football, certainly one of the best 5 in the Premier League, to being dreadful, to being not able to contribute positively. There are issues still in that squad. There's still an imbalance, but I think on paper in the stars, they've got Paul Pogba, should be good enough to win any game of football. He's a world-class talent. But can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer motivate these guys? Will they not just get bored of hearing this is how Sir Alex Ferguson did it in his weird half Manc, half Norwegian accent? I think they will. So I think they'll have some indiscipline in that. But also when it comes down to it and they go head to head in the biggest encounters, in the biggest games, his lack of ability, his lack of tactical nous, his lack of experience at the top level will cut the legs off Manchester United's season. So I think, and it's then, again, I think the least shit of those 3 teams, of Arsenal, Man United and Chelsea, will finish 4th. And for me, I think that's going to be Arsenal, and then take your pick between 5th and 6th. Relegated, I can't see Sheffield United staying up, unfortunately, and I've got mates who support Sheffield United. I had a great time living in Sheffield. I've got a little bit of a soft spot for the Blades. I don't mind them, would like them to stay, but I don't know that they're going to have enough. I think Villa have probably spent wisely enough that they will become, I think they'll become Brighton-ish, where they'll finish between 14th and 16th. You know, and be enough to survive. I think Brighton are going to be in massive trouble. I think Burnley has had its day and had its time, and I think that might be the end of Burnley as well this season. But it's going to be a massive scrap. There's going to be tons of teams desperate to go down, literally tripping over each other, desperate to get relegated through a lack of quality. So take your pick from any of those. Do you think I'm miles off base with all this stuff? Also, let me know. Any recent discussion is welcome in the comments below. Drop a subscribe on the channel as well. Well, again, greatly appreciate getting so close to 100,000 subscribers. That'd be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, make it happen. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment below. See you all very soon. Enjoy the upcoming season. That's the biggest take home from anything. Enjoy football, because football's dead good. Yeah? Yeah. Cheers.